Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Do we have another piece of this?
Love fit करेंगे.
Let's start. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much for your presence. Your first time coming?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You stay in this society?
Yes.
So let's just start with prayer. Simply we can hold our hands and close our eyes and meditate upon the words. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. So, we'll start with Kirtan. Just 2 minutes we'll do this. Chanting the holy name of the Lord. So this is in the form of Maha Mantra, we call it Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So these are the transcendental words. So when we chant, it purifies our heart and we become eligible to understand the subject matter. We receive the mercy of the Lord. So we will chant for 2 minutes. Simply you can follow. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Harinam Sankirtan Yogi ki Jai, Shri Bhagavad ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So my humble gratitude to all of you for your presence here in this Bhagavad Gita session. So last session we were discussing about how Duryodhana, he was describing about the armies, his army and the armies of Pandava. And finally, after doing this observation, he made a comparison. And what was the conclusion of that comparison? He concluded that my army is far more superior than the Pandavas, because my army is protected by very experienced general Bhishma, and the Pandavas' army is protected by Bhima, who is less experienced in comparison to Bhishma. So finally he concluded that I am going to be victorious. And even we could see that the army size, of course, the army size of Kauravas, that was much larger than Pandavas in comparison to him. 11 Akshavani Sena, and Pandavas, they had only 7 Akshavani Sena. Big warriors, they were there with Kauravas. So with the strength, combined strength of these big warriors, Duryodhana concluded that I'm going to be victorious. But he was not aware that the winning factor is not with him. The winning factor in this battle is Krishna, who is with Pandavas. And we could see that wherever Krishna is there, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra, Yatra Patra Partha Dhanodhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir. So wherever Krishna is there, there will be Shri. Shri means goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. Vijayo, victory will be there. Bhutir, extraordinary strength will be there. So wherever Krishna is there, all auspiciousness is going to be there. All the associates going to be there. So we could see the signs of victory of Pandavas. Because Krishna was there, doesn't matter what is the size of that army. Who is going to fight on behalf of Pandavas, that is totally different. Because Krishna is there, so all power is there. And finally we see the result also, end of this battle. Pandavas were victorious. So Krishna is the winning factor, and we could also learn similarly in this battlefield of our life. If Krishna is with us, doesn't matter what do we have, what kind of qualification we have, what kind of opulences, skills or strength we have. But for sure, we will be victorious in this journey of life. If we don't have Krishna with us, then doesn't matter what we have. All big personalities, if you talk about Hiranyakashipu, Raman, many other, they had much more opulence, strength, power, everything. Even big demigods, they were always fearful with their power. But finally, they got defeated. They were destroyed because they didn't accept Krishna. They didn't accept Ram. They didn't accept God. So God, acceptance of God is success of our life, is perfection of our life. That is what we learned in our last session. So now we see the observation of Duryodhana, what he observed and what he concluded. Now in this section, today's section, we are going to see how Arjuna is going to observe the army. Now this section, verse number 20 onwards. So first of all, we will recite all these Sanskrit shlokas, and then collectively we will read a translation, and then we'll discuss about the important points which is there in purport. And our process or this method of study of Bhagavad Gita is like, we also try to learn the practical application, the learning, how we can take learning from here, from Bhagavad Gita, and implement in our life. So let's start this one. It's page number 45, you can open. So we will start from verse number 20, though we have already covered it, but we will just quickly read the Sanskrit shlokas. So you can simply follow me. Atha vyavasthitan drashtva dhartarashtran kapidhvaja pravritte shastra shampate dhanur udyamya pandava rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate. Arjun uvacha. Next shloka. Arjun uvacha senayorubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechuta yavat etan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan kairmaya sah yodhavyam asmin ran samudyame. Next. Yotsamanana viksheham yaite yatra samagata dhartarashtrasya durbuddhe yuddhe priyachikirshava. Sanjay uvacha eva mukto rishikesho guna-keshena bharata senayorubhayor madhye sthapayitva rathotamam. Bhishma Drona Pramukta Sarvesham cha mahikshitaam. Uvacha partha pashyaitan. Samvetan kuruniti. Tatra pashya sthitan partha. Pitrinath pitamahan. Acharyan matulan bhratrin. Putran pautran sakhins tatha. Swashura suhridaschaiva. Senayorubhayorapi. Tan samikhyasa kaunteya. Sarvan bandhun navasthitan. Kripaya paraya vishto. Visidannidam abravi. Thank you so much. So this citation of these Sanskrit shlokas is very, very auspicious. So we will make a practice of reciting this. So starting from verse number 20, I'll read the translation. Just hear it carefully, attentively. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, Just behold, Parth, all the Kurus assembled here. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now Arjuna, he is observing the armies of Pandavas and Kauravas. And now we can see when Duryodhana, he observed the army, his conclusion or his mindset and the mindset of Arjuna after observing the army. Yes. Duryodhana, he became very envious, he became very proud. And there was no compassion at all. Just for his personal satisfaction, because he wanted to become king, he wanted this kingdom, he was never ready to compromise with Pandavas. Though they had asked only for 5 villages, they had compromised. Pandavas had compromised so much. They said, okay, if you cannot give me my kingdom, half of the kingdom, better give me just 5 villages. And Duryodhana was not ready to give even land enough which can hold a pin. That was his response. So just to satisfy his desire, he was ready to do this bloodshed, this great war. And we see Arjuna, when he observed, he became compassionate. He started thinking, why I am going to fight? Why I am going to do this bloodshed? And many other. When we go further, we will see so many divine qualities Arjuna is having. And he will give, in next session onwards, we will discuss so many reasons not to fight. And all those reasons are very, very solid reasons, very intellectual reasons he is giving. We will discuss about that. But the point here is, These are the divine qualities. He is not selfish. He is worried about everyone, not only about the army he is holding or he is having, or the people who is taking side of Pandavas. He is not just worried about them. He is also worried about the enemies. He is thinking about all the relatives. Compassion. This is divine quality. And why this quality is there? Because he is associated with Krishna. Krishna is the source of all divinity. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, like we know, when we associate with something or someone, we attract those qualities. So, because Krishna is Supreme Personality, and directly Arjuna is in association of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's why all these divine qualities are there. And the term which is used over here, there are few names, like from the previous session also we could see, there are different names. Arjuna's different names, Lord Krishna's different names, and all these different names, they have particular meaning. So one name which is being used for Arjuna over here is Gunakesha. What is the meaning of Gunakesha? Gunaka. Gunaka means night or darkness. One who controls, or one who win sleep or darkness, ignorance. He is called Gunakesh. So what is the significance of this word over here? That Arjuna is not in ignorance. He is not in ignorance. Ignorance is excuse me. Yes. Ignorance means one who does not understand what is right and what is wrong. One who does not understand about his real identity. That is ignorance. So, because he is directly, and another meaning of ignorance is darkness. Somebody is in darkness, right? And Krishna is compared to sun. Krishna Surya Sam, Maya Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi, Maya Adhikar. Wherever there is light, there is no question of darkness. So if light is there, there is no darkness. So because Krishna is there, and anybody who is associated with Krishna, he can never be in darkness. And that's why this special word is being used, this name is being used, Gunakesha. He conquered sleep, he conquered ignorance, because he is directly in association with Krishna. But why then Arjuna is into this illusion? So the point here is, he has been put under this illusion by the will of Krishna, so that we can receive this message, Bhagavad Gita. It is Krishna's will that he is put into illusion. He knows everything, but still, we will see what is that illusion, what are those reasons because of which he is not ready to fight. So the point here is, yes, he is not in illusion. I mean, he is being a friend and devotee of Krishna, is fully enlightened, but he has been put under this situation. That is one thing. And the second, the name for Krishna, if you see the name, which name Arjuna is using? Achyuta, infallible. The meaning of this name is infallible. He is saying, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here. So he is giving order to Krishna with the name Achyuta. Achyut means infallible. And what is the meaning? There are two meanings given over here. One is simple literal meaning, one who never falls down. Infallible, one who never falls down. Right? We will understand. This is a little bit philosophical, but understanding of this will help us a lot. Infallible, the meaning over here in Purport Prabhupada is saying, one who never fails in his affection for his devotees. And Krishna never fails in his affection for his devotees. He loves his devotees. He never fails in it. If we love Krishna, if we are devoted to Krishna, Krishna will surely reciprocate. He will always protect. And that's why he later on we will read about it. He said, Arjuna, just announce it boldly. Na me bhaktya prarakshati. My devotee will never perish. Oh Arjuna, just boldly announce it. My devotee will never perish. So this is another significance of this name. He will never fail in his affection for his devotees. And another meaning of infallible is, this is very important to understand, because most of the people have misconception about it. Infallible, like one who never falls down. Falls down means, the conception is what? Like when we talk about God, we say, okay, God is there. When he comes to this material world, he comes under, or he is overcome by Maya. A little bit philosophical, just try to understand. Means God, in his place, in his abode, he might be God. But when he comes to this material world, he is trapped into Maya. It means Maya is more powerful than God, right? Is it not? Somebody who is more powerful only can trap the person. But we know God is the most powerful. No one is equal and more powerful than Krishna. So if we accept this philosophy, people think like, no, Krishna, he is just ordinary person like us. Maybe Ram or Krishna, maybe he is God. But when he comes to this material world, he is also entangled or captured, or he is also under the illusion of Maya like we are. So we have to understand and clear this concept. We are called living entities. We are Jiva and God. We are soul. We will discuss about this topic, soul, in second chapter. In detail, Krishna is explaining about soul. As of now, just we have to know that we are soul. Whether we accept it or not, just theoretically accept it that we are soul and we are part and parcel of Krishna. Soul is part and parcel of God. We have a loving relationship with God. Krishna is saying, Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We have loving, eternal relationship with Krishna. When we come to this material world means when we accept this body, we forget about this relationship. And we start, or we try to become God. We try to enjoy separately from Krishna. All these are philosophical terms. Gradually you will understand, but this understanding will help you a lot. So a small understanding. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Now we are away from Krishna, forgetful of Krishna. We try to become God, or we try to enjoy separate from Krishna. And that's why Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti asthani karshati. Mame vansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Manah sashtani indriyani prakriti asthani karshati. He's saying that the person or the jiva, when he forgets about me, about my relationship with him, he struggles here in this material world with his mind and senses. So this is the root cause of our suffering, Krishna is saying. Forgetfulness of God. So when we don't accept God, when we don't remember God, or we forget about him, then we start struggle here in this material world. Right? So the point here we are discussing about, when we come in this material world, we are controlled by Maya, material nature, with the three modes of material nature, that is Tatoguna, Tamoguna and Rajoguna. These are the three modes of material nature which controls us. We will have better understanding in later classes, but we are controlled by Maya Shakti. But when Krishna comes to this material world, he is never controlled by this. That is what we are trying to understand. So when Krishna comes, he comes by his own will, by his own desire, and that's why we say that Krishna doesn't take birth. He is Anadi, Ajam. Ajam means Ajanma. He never takes birth. He appears. We celebrate Appearance Day. Just like sun. Sun is what? Sun is taking birth in the east. He is just appearing. Right? When sunset is there, we feel like sun is now no more. Sun is not there. But any intellectual person knows that sun is always there. Now appearing in this part of the earth, and after sunset here, we see sunset, sun is appearing somewhere else. So similarly, Krishna is always there. Out of his will, he just appears. And what is the purpose of his appearance? He is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita. What is that? You must know about it. What is that? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya
anything which requires his presence to eradicate the evilness.
So this is the purpose. And now we will discuss more about, like, this is one purpose he is talking about. Why he appeared in this material world? To establish religion, to re-establish the religion, to protect devotees, to annihilate the miscreant. But our acharyas say that this is not the direct reason, this is not the real purpose of Lord's appearance. Sitting in his place, just by his will, he can do this. Do you think God, who is the supreme powerful personality, just by his will everything is moving on? And personally he's supposed to come to kill demons? Or personally he does he need to come and protect devotees? He can send his messengers, he can send his associates, and they can do this job. Or simply by his desire sitting in his place only, he can kill demons.
It's only the faith he wants.
The real purpose. So the real purpose, what acharyas, the great teachers, they say that the real purpose, he comes here to reclaim his devotees or to reciprocate with his devotees, to do loving devotion, exchange with his devotees, reciprocate with his devotees' love. That is his real purpose. So when he comes in this world, in this material world, you will see different pastimes. With his devotees, he is doing different activities, and those activities, if we see from ordinary point of view, from a human point of view, it will look like these are very ordinary. How God can do like this? You see? When we see Krishna is stealing butter, when we see Krishna's devotees or Krishna's friend fighting with him, we feel like, oh, Krishna is just like us. And this is another misconception. Most of the people, they think like Krishna is just like us. So the point is, Krishna is always God. God is always God. Either he is in a spiritual world or he is in material world, he is always God. We have to have this faith. And that's why he does superhuman activities. His birth and activities is not material. In Bhagavad Gita, he is saying, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vekti tattvata. My birth and my activities is not material, it is transcendental. And one who knows this, in reality, he doesn't take birth in this material world. Taktva deham punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. He's saying, Arjuna, he never comes to this material world, which is a place of suffering. He comes to my abode, my eternal spiritual realm, right? So Krishna is always God. So we see from the very beginning, have you seen any child killing big demons in his childhood? Just 3 months, 6 months old child killing big demons. Putana, Trinavrat, so many demons he is killing. Just in 6th year, he was lifting Govardhan hill. All these are superhuman activities, and we see God is always performing such activities. So these activities are superhuman activities. These activities are transcendental. So when we say infallible, so this is the meaning of, this is the understanding we should have, that God is just doing some kind of activity, some kind of pastime out of his will. He is not controlled by Mahamaya or this Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti is working under Krishna's will. In Bhagavad Gita, Maya Adhyakshana Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. He is saying that this material nature is working under my direction. She is not free to do this, right? Whatever is happening in nature, like in last session we were discussing, there is a cause behind that. Nature is working, functioning, there is a supreme cause behind that. And Krishna is saying, I am that cause. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate. I am that cause. From me everything is emanating. So that is what we have to understand. Right? So this Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, now what role, what he is doing for Arjuna? What he is doing? What role he is playing? Arjuna, he is ordering, he is giving order. What he is saying? Senayor ubhayor madhya rathamasthapaye mechuta. Please, what do? Please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. So in this purport, Prabhupada is giving very nice explanation that Arjuna, like devotee, he is devotee of the Lord. So devotees, they always try to serve God. They always try to please God, serve God. And what is the role of God? What is mentioned? The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotees. What is another point here? When he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure. Although he is the infallible master in all circumstances, he is supreme God. But no one can order him, no one can control him. But he loves when his pure devotees order him, chastise him. Who can chastise Lord? Do we have that power? No. But what is mentioned over here? That Lord loves. And we see so many pastimes of Krishna, wherein he is being controlled by his devotees. And in this episode only, if you see, he is playing a role of chariot driver. Do you see somebody who is the world richest personality? World richest personality, the most powerful personality of this world, and he comes to you and say that I will become your driver. Do you see this? No? Have you seen Prime Minister? He becomes your driver. And how? Not an ordinary driver. Means see how it is. Means in this battlefield, he's driving chariot in the battlefield. So much of sound is there, and chariot doesn't have any indicator. And in that battlefield, wherein so much of noise, different instruments, horses, elephants, and here and there just shooting arrows, so much is going on. How to give direction? What Arjuna was doing, there was no indicator in that. He just, with his two hands, he's just fighting, shooting arrows. And now how he is doing that? If he wants to indicate, okay, you have to go left, you have to go right. How he was doing that? He's standing with his leg. He was just hitting on the back of Krishna. If he wanted Krishna to move left side, then he was hitting with his leg on the left side of his back. Right side, then he was hitting right side. And if he wanted to go this to straight, then he was hitting in the middle of the back. And throughout 8 hours, he was being hit by Arjunas. Do you have any such kind of driver, or someday you say that to your driver, now today you sit backside, I will drive, and whichever direction you want me, just give me a slap here and there, and I will drive for you. Nobody will do that. But such a humble menial service he is doing, Krishna, just for his devotee. Many examples. When there was Rajasuya Yagya, when Yudhishthira Maharaj, he did Rajasuya Yagya. You know what was the role of Krishna? What position he took? What service he accepted? He accepted a service of receptionist, welcoming all the people, all the kings, whoever is coming, without any discrimination. His service was to clean their feet and giving them asana, sitting place. That was the service Krishna was doing. In this battlefield, not only he was driving the chariot, after battle, every evening he was massaging the horses. He was taking care of the horses. And not only this, just like a security man, he was protecting Pandavas. This is Krishna doing personally. Such a menial service he is doing. And similarly, you see so many examples. Just to protect his devotees, he is ready to do anything. Even he is ready to break all the rules and regulations. In this battlefield of Mahabharata only, we will see so many promises. Krishna will break that. Just to protect his devotee, Arjuna. Jayadratha. When Arjuna took a vow, I will kill Jayadratha today, otherwise I will suicide. I will jump into fire and suicide. That was the promise, that was the vow Arjuna had taken after the death of Abhimanyu, because Jayadratha was the cause to take him to that Chakravyuha. So Arjuna, he was very angry, and out of anger, he took this vow that I will kill Jayadratha tonight or today, before this battle, end of this battle. He took this vow. And we know the story, like, because Kauravas, they were very happy that today our only business is just to protect Jayadratha. Anyhow, before sunset, we will not allow him to come in front of Arjuna, and by default, because Arjuna will not be able to kill him and he will suicide. And Arjuna, when he is no more there, then we will be victorious, because he is the one who is capable of defeating us. This was the plan. And really, throughout the day, Jayadratha was protected. Nobody could reach to him. And just the sunset was about to happen. And there, by Krishna's will, by Krishna's desire, he just hid this sun. And Jayadratha became very happy. Now now it is sunset, and he came out in front of Arjuna and he started shouting, now you have to suicide, you have to fulfill your promise. Now no more sun is there, so you have so many things he started doing. And immediately Krishna just uncovered sun and said, Arjuna, just kill him. So we know all these stories. So it was Krishna's will. So he is ready to do anything for his devotees. So many examples there, but in this limited time, what we are trying to understand, the most important thing is that if Krishna is ready to do anything and everything for his devotees. He loves to be defeated by his devotees. Srila Prabhupada say that people in this world, they are trying to become God. They are trying to become God. But if we simply become devotee of Krishna, then we become greater than God. So why to become God? Why not to become greater than God? Getting this point? Greater than God. One who can control God. Who can control God? Who can chastise God? Only a devotee. Mother Yashoda, there is another beautiful pastime wherein Mother Yashoda, having a stick in her hand, she is chasing Krishna. This is a beautiful pastime we will sometimes discuss, wherein he was stealing butter, and then Mother Yashoda, just to teach him and just to teach a lesson to him, she was very angry, and in angry mood she was chasing Krishna. And little Krishna, he was just running. And he was just crying. His body was trembling. Just like a child we see. And great acharyas, Narad Muni, saying that, see, one who is death personified, even the fear is feared by Krishna, and he is in fear just by seeing a stick in hands of a gopi, Yashoda Maya. Such is Krishna. When he used to play with his friends, Gopa friends, all the cowherd boys, he used to play with them. And he was not happy to defeat them. He was always getting defeated. And what was the condition? That one who defeats or one who gets defeated, he has to hold the person on shoulder and have to go through whole village to show that yes, he got defeated. Getting this point? Maybe. So Krishna, always he was defeated by his friends, and he was holding friends on his shoulder and moving around the whole village, and he was feeling happy that I got defeated with my devotees. He was happy, right? It's just like father, a 26-year, a 30, you see father, father when he is fighting with his son. Just look at that, in between we'll have this question also. So father, when he fights with his small son, we all do like this, right? We have son and we fight with, doing kind of wrestling. And when the son is hitting, we act also. Yes, I'm getting defeated, like this. Otherwise, father is very powerful. Within a moment, he can crush the baby. He can kill the baby. But do you think father will be happy with that? No. He feels more pleasure when he is defeated by his son, the small son. When his son goes and say that, yes, I defeated my father. He goes to say another family members, I defeated my father in wrestling match. And father also says, yes, I got defeated. He is very powerful. So the father feels happy. son feels happy, right? Similarly, Krishna is our Supreme Father. He comes here to give us love, to reciprocate with us, and to attract us. He is doing all these activities, different activities, just to attract us so that we can love Krishna, we can remember Krishna. And when we remember Krishna, when we love Krishna, like Arjuna was doing, every moment he was remembering. When you go through the purport, you will see Prabhupada is saying, because he was always remembering Krishna, and because of that, he was always, he was never in illusion, he was never in darkness. So these are the significance of these two words. Similarly, so with this understanding, like today's topic I mentioned, eternal loving relationship, right? We have, this is our transcendental loving relationship, what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Okay. So we all have this loving relationship with Krishna. And if we establish this relationship, that relationship is already there. This is very clear. That is dormant love for Krishna is already there within everyone's heart. It is just covered. We have forget about that love. So this process of understanding Bhagavad Gita, this is one of the objectives to revive our lost relationship with Krishna. And in our first few sessions, we were discussing about why to revive this relationship. With different examples, we could understand that to revive this relationship with Krishna, loving devotional relationship with Krishna, will help us to establish our relationship with everything and everyone. If we see our relation in this modern world, doesn't matter how much you do to your relation to satisfy, never ever will be satisfied. I mean, whatever you do at material platform to satisfy self or to satisfy your relation will never ever be able to satisfy those relations. And that's why we see so much of chaos in society. Why relations are not established, or why so much of breakup is there, why so much of conflict is there, right? We try our best, everyone try their best to have a better relation with everyone. Because relation is that source of happiness. If you have everything, but if there is a conflict in your relation, you will never be happy. Because that happiness we receive is in loving exchange. When you have loving relationship with everyone, and that loving exchange gives us happiness. And this is not just a scripture is talking about. You can go through a YouTube video, this is Harvard University's research. 75 years of research. 750 people were examined in this research. And the name of this research is happiness. And they researched how people are happy. In which situation they are happy. So many people, they had different desires, name, fame, position, money, everything. And they got everything, and in spite of that, they were not happy. So they finally concluded the root cause of happiness is relationship. If our relation is good, then we are happy. Doesn't matter externally what we have. And then, deeper into it, the people who had good relationship, what was the root cause behind their good relationship? It was their consciousness, God consciousness. Somehow or other, they were God conscious. They had accepted God in their life. They were leading a life which was as per the instruction of God. So this is the science behind. If we have good relation with God, if we are connected with the source, like last time I gave example, if we are connected with the source, then rest everything will be taken care. As the example, do you remember that example? As pouring water on the root of a tree energizes trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else. As supplying food to the stomach enlivens the limbs, the senses of the body. Similarly, if we are connected, if our relationship with God is there, then our relation with other, not only with people, person, even things, our relation with everything and every person will improve, will become better. This is science we have to understand. And this is the root cause of conflicts. I mean, because of this, because people are not God conscious, and because of this, so much of chaos and so much of conflict in our relationship is there. Because when we start seeing people and objects, whatever is there, in relation to Krishna, in relation to God, our perception, our behavior, our consciousness, everything will get changed. When we don't have God in between, then our fight is for I and mine. This is the two terms we use, I and mine. When I and mine is there, everything should be done as I want, the way I want. When I want means I and mine. Everything must be done for me. So when I and mine will be there, then always will be conflict, because we won't be able to satisfy others' desire. Never ever. That is the truth, right? So but when we see others in relation to Krishna, how we can see others in relation to Krishna? Just give me one example. For example, let's take example, very simple example to understand. Me and my wife, we have, without Krishna, what we do? Without Krishna, she is trying to satisfy me and I am trying to satisfy her, right? And as we know that, this is the ground reality. Doesn't matter how much you do, but complaint is always there. Complaint is always there. But, and also, reason is because, I'll give you another simple example to understand why conflicts are there in our life. Another beautiful, simple example. When you take a small rock and just throw into a pond, in between the pond, what happens? What happens? You see a circle, the waves, a circle around. So you just take different, just small, just stones, just throw it into that pond in different locations, in center and here and there. What will you see? Different circles and conflicting with each other. Different circles and conflicting with each other, right? We see that. But if you throw the stone in same place again and again, and just in the middle of that, what will happen? You will see different circles, but not conflicting with each other, right? So the point here is, if we have Krishna in center, doesn't matter what is my opinion, what is your opinion, what is my desire, what is your desire, right? So, because every individual, if they are working for one central purpose, then automatically, there will be no conflict. Because this is very natural. Every individual, when we come together in family, or every individual is unique. They have different skills, different expectations, different desires. And that is very natural. When we come together, what is our expectation? You should do as I want. What is that? This is unnatural demand. Husband wants, wife should do as I want, and wife wants, my husband should behave like the way I want. And that is very unnatural demand. This is not possible. And that's why there is always a conflict. All these fingers are in different size, different capacity. But if they know the purpose, if they are working together for one purpose, there will never any conflict. Right? So these are a small example to understand. Similarly, in our life, we have to just make Krishna center. If God is center of our life, this is just, I'm talking about the relationship, but every aspect will be perfect. And gradually in these classes, we will learn all these things and we will see this happening. So in today's class, we are just trying to understand that Krishna is our source, God is our source, and He is supreme. He is infallible. But we are fallible. Somehow or other we have come to this world. But again, with this understanding, if we re-establish our lost relationship with Krishna, then everything is going to be transcendental. Our relation will not be material. Material relationship means I and mine. The life of I and mine. When we say transcendental relationship, this is a relationship with Krishna. Means we have to simply add third partner in our life. So our love, first it is directed to Krishna, then automatically when we see everything in relation to Krishna, first we have to direct our love to Krishna, and then in that relation we have to see other. Then automatically that love will also become transcendental. Right now I see my son, my home, my car, yes, or my wife. So with this understanding we are living a life. So when we have another understanding, which is Krishna conscious way of understanding, when we know that I am part and parcel of Krishna, my wife is part and parcel of Krishna, my son is part and parcel of Krishna, all these things belongs to Krishna, and my constitutional position is to love Krishna. So when I love Krishna, I will love everything which belongs to Krishna. That love will not be external love. That will not be situated on external situations. Getting this point? Otherwise, at physical level, at material level, our love, our attraction is that physical beauty. When that beauty is not there, we lose our interest. When the person is, this is just a crude example I'm giving you. That we love people. I've seen many cases like this. Husband-wife love, relation, physical beauty. How long it is going to be there? How long? If you go 30 years, 40 years back, you see your photograph, and now, lots of difference. Nobody in this material world. This is the nature of this material world. Everything is going to be decay. So if we love the body, the physical appearance, how long? We lose that taste. We lose that interest. But if we know that the person is part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna has sent him to in my life, this is my responsibility to take care of that person. And that's why you see people who live this spiritual way of life, they don't talk about their rights. They always talk about their duties. Krishna conscious life means a life of responsibility, a life of duty. Whenever there is a question of rights or discussion, when we talk about rights, there will be conflict. And that is what we can see in this society happening. Just for small things, husband and wife or any relation, they are fighting like anything. And because I have been a counselor, I get many calls, people concerned with me about their life, about their different things, and just for small thing, breakups are there. This is all just because of this material consciousness, wrong understanding, wrong expectations. I'll give you just a small story I heard from one acharya. So they were a couple, and lots of conflict were there in their life. They were consulting some counselor, and finally they could not, the counselor could not resolve the problem, and they decided to break up. So one day, this couple, they just, they were individually interacting and talking about their problems. So one day he decided to he invited both of them together and just asked about, tell me, what is your problem? Any example you can give, like why your relation is not good? Then husband, he started saying that she doesn't love me. What is that example? Every morning when she is giving me breakfast or the bread, she always give me that dark portion of the bread. Dark portion is the end portion of the bread. Bread end portion, that is brownie. Dark portion of the bread. And she eats white portion, soft bread. That was the reason of conflict. So then wife started crying. She was crying. And she started explaining. Actually, the wife, she was from Italy. The lady, she was from Italy. And in Italy, in their country, the brown portion is most liked. They like to have, they fight for this brown portion of the bread. But in America, they don't like it. They give it to dogs. So the boy was American, and the girl, she was Italian. She was doing her best. She used to give that brown portion, thinking that because I love my husband, I am giving this part of bread. Because in my country, people fight for this. The husband, he was thinking, see, she is just behaving, she is we give it to dogs, and she is giving me this brown portion of the bread. And now, then he could understand, she was doing it out of love. Why I am giving this example? This is just a small issue. And because of that, the situation was so worst, they were ready to break up. They were ready to break up. And this is just an example I'm giving you, and similar cases I see. Just by small thing, situations are worst in family. And if we go to the root cause, this is not the cause. If we go to the root cause of it, if we have this Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, then really we will have real love. We will really love. Our love will not be dependent on externals. Whether we don't have anything, in whatever situation, we will always love that person. Because we will have this understanding that Krishna has sent this person in my life, and this is my responsibility. And the whole scripture, throughout you go through, you will always see the husband, wife, they are always caring, they are always talking about their responsibilities. Right? So here, yes, this is what we learn today, that of Arjuna, when he is observing, because he is associated with Krishna, and that's why we see divine qualities with him. And out of compassion, because he could see in both of the armies, his relatives, his friends, his father, grandfather, teachers, and he became overwhelmed with compassion. And next session we will see now many reasons he is giving not to fight this battle. So what are those reasons? And why he is getting deviated from his objective, because he was ready to fight, and being a Kshatriya, this is his duty to fight against irreligion, but now he is deviated to that purpose. He got illusion. So in next sessions, upcoming sessions in this chapter 1, there are so many things to learn. So those reasons we will discuss, and along with those reasons, like in between so many other subject matters which is very nice to discuss and understand. This will help us to have a better, happy, harmonious life. So I'll stop here. We will take question answer now. Yes, please.
You said that Krishna wanted to protect Arjuna. That's why he stalled the sunset. He really loved him. If he really wanted to protect Arjuna, and he's such a good devotee, he could have protected him with saving Abhimanyu. Why kill Abhimanyu if Krishna can do everything?
Yes, that's the next question. If Krishna can do, that's why I said like Krishna sitting in his place only, he can do everything. Why he needs to do all these
Because
things?
he paid. It was a pain. It was
Better.
devastated.
Yes.
So he crushed Arjuna and then he protected him. Why?
That's why Krishna said, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tatvata.
Then why?
He,
Let him also commit suicide. Don't stop the sun.
yes, if he, because of his desire only this battle of Mahabharata is happening. He would have, if he, no, he would have arranged such a way that even this battle was not possible without his desire.
So he wanted Abhimanyu to be killed.
Yes.
That is what
It is everything, whatever is happening, that is happening with the desire of Krishna only. And that's why he said, even if you don't fight, all these people have already been killed by my arrangement.
So he devastated Arjuna. He didn't protect him in the first place.
Huh? So let's understand this. That's what I said. Ki understanding Krishna's activity, birth and activity is transcendental. And Krishna is saying only a devotee can understand. Because this is a subject matter. If from our external view, external eye, if we try to understand, we will be bewildered enough. Even Lord Brahma, who is the creator of this material world, he got bewildered when he saw that Krishna, is he a god? He is eating with village boys, no, and that too. So he got bewildered, and just to examine, is he God? What he did, he just stole all the boys, the calves, and everything. He stole. So this is another story in Krishna we hear in the pastime.
Yes, yes.
So
Arjuna is one of the biggest devotee. If he is devotee, then he knows that he is part of Krishna.
yes.
He should have been devastated. He should have promised to kill himself. He should have understood. So it doesn't really.
Now that's what. Let me explain you what I mean to say. That's what I'm saying. This is a role play. This is a role play. Krishna. That's what I said. Krishna can do everything with his. No, he does not. He does not need to do anything. Without, just by his desire only everything will happen. He is God, right? Why all these things taking place? It is for our learning. So when we hear anything, there are two aspects we have to understand. One is understanding the supremacy of Krishna because he can do anything. God can do anything. And second, when we see any kind of pastimes, that is for our learning. He with these activities, he is giving us some learning, some lesson.
What did Arjuna learn?
Yes.
What did Arjuna learn?
Yes.
After Abhimanyu's
Yes.
passing?
And that's why after hearing Bhagavad Gita, yes, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, what Arjuna accepted? What he said? Param Brahma Param Dham Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. He said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? He accepted. So this is what Krishna wants from us.
And yet
What end result we are expecting?
So when did Arjuna got Gita? I mean, in the start of the war, after Abhimanyu was killed, or before Abhimanyu was killed?
Bhagavad Gita is before that. He accepted.
Why he got devastated?
Let me come up with your questions clearly. Yeah.
He had the Gita
Yes.
before the start of the
Yes.
war.
Yes.
And later in the process of war,
Yes.
Abhimanyu got killed.
Yes.
So why he needed to get devastated and broken?
The whole family, the whole Kuru dynasty was devastated. He was finished.
I'm asking about Arjuna. When
Yes.
Abhimanyu was killed, why he was so devastated that he wanted to kill himself?
He wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, he wanted to commit suicide. He wanted to, if I can't kill Jadat, who killed my son, then
Yes.
why? He should have been,
Let me tell you, yes, got your point now. Somebody is dying, not dying, somebody killed, not killed. This is our external vision. This is a battle which is going on. Who's going to die? Who's going to survive? All these are externals. Ultimately, everybody was killed by the arrangement of Krishna. So that's what I said. If we put why I took birth, why this happened. So this why we have to understand.
Why has no answers?
No, answers are there. So answer, because why Draupadi she was put into this situation. Why Pandavas were put into this situation. Why Kunti Maharani suffered so much. Though they were the friends of Krishna, they were always with Krishna, they suffered so much. All these are questions we should ask. Like I am telling, when Krishna is there with us, there is no suffering, there is happiness. But we see Pandava's life. They were always struggling. They were always roaming around in jungle. Though they were the king, but they were struggling. This is a good question. But we have to understand why Krishna is putting his devotees in such miserable condition. Right? So one is external vision. Externally we see we are suffering. They are suffering. If they are really suffering, one is spiritual vision. If they were really suffering, if you go through Srimad Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani, she is praying. What she is praying, She is praying Vipada Santu Tasasvat Tatra Tatra Yogeshwara. Oh my Lord, please give me these sufferings again and again. Have you ever prayed like this? Do we ever pray like this?
No. I lost my son 5 months ago.
Yes.
24 years. I am not praying to give me something.
No, that's what, let me come. Yeah, got your point. See, here what I'm trying to make you understand. If Kunti Maharani, if she was really suffering, why she is asking? When Krishna was leaving Hastinapur, when he was going Dwarka, Kunti Maharani is praying. These are high level of subject matter we will discuss and we will understand all these things. Because this is not just emotional subject matter. Otherwise, if you see, even the same thing is going to come. Arjuna, he was out of emotion, out of compassion, he decided not to fight. And Krishna, being God, he is inducing him, you have to fight.
Yes.
You have to fight. Yes.
Because he wanted Arjuna to
Yes.
fight.
So,
It was...
we'll discuss one-to-one also. I think because there are some background you need to understand. So here the example which I am giving you, if Kunti Maharani, what to talk about us? Kunti Maharani herself, if she is praying, give me these pains, these sufferings. Why? Why she is praying? She is saying that Bhavato Darshanam Tatsya. Because when problems are there, I remember you. And when I remember you, Puna Apuna Bhava Darshanam. When I remember you, I will never have this darshan of this material world again. This is high subject matter. Because at material platform, because we are concerned with this body, we don't know about soul. Second chapter, we will know about soul. When we will understand the higher purpose of life, then we will be able to understand why she is praying for suffering. Because instead of suffering in this material world again and again, body, anybody, either somebody is killing you or not, body is temporary, it is going to be anybody. Jatasyahi dhruvam mrityu dhruvam janma mrityu sacha. Anybody and everybody has to die. Is there any person who is alive till from time immemorial? Have you seen anybody? Because this is all bodily conception of life. We think, why this happened? Even this session we will do. Why this bad thing happening in my life? If you know the root cause of it, why it is happening, we are going to learn in this Bhagavad Gita. We blame, because of him, because of them. No, we have to know the right reason behind it. Anybody and everybody has to die. This is the ground reality of this material world. So we have to accept this material body is going to be finished. But what is more important than this material body is our spiritual soul, which is our real identity. That we will learn in second chapter. So when you have this understanding of spirit soul, then your vision to see all these, whatever we are discussing, will be different. So Kunti Maharani is praying for problems because she doesn't want to come in this material world again and again and suffer birth after birth. She's saying, if I have your darshan, if I remember you, then I will not take another birth. And this is what the process Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Antakale cha mameva smarana muktva kalevaram. One who remembers me at the time of death, he never takes birth in this material world again. And that is the process of Krishna consciousness. Our whole process is just to remember Krishna always. Always remain Krishna conscious. And then our vision to see all this material problem will be totally different. Otherwise, we will keep on struggling, always blaming, and this blame game is not going to solve the problem. We have to understand the ground reality, and that reality what Krishna is talking about in Bhagavad Gita, right? So have these classes continues in, of course, all these doubts will be clear. Let the time reveal everything. Thank you so much for this nice question, for the help.
I just want to ask you one question. As you rightly as you said,
Yes.
that Krishna had broken his promises on a various occasions.
Yes.
On one hand, we are taught that we should be fair enough and keep our promises. On the other hand,
Nice question.
we are breaking our promises just for the convenience or just for the.
This is all these are. That's why I said when it comes to morality, because even so many
My only
questions.
question is, how do we differentiate when do we have to break a promise and when do we?
Yes, yes. This is because dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavad pranitam. What is dharma? That is, from our perspective, we see something good, something bad. But from Krishna's perspective, from dharma point of view, if we see whatever is happening in one's life, one law of karma is whatever action we have done, we get reaction for that. So all these personalities, you talk about Jayadratha, you talk about Karna, even when Karna was pulling out his chariot, the wheel was stuck up. And even Karna was killed like this only. When Karna was pulling out his chariot, he was without arm. This is the rule of a Kshatriya. He cannot shoot out somebody who is with armless. But when he was pulling out the wheel of the chariot, Krishna said, just kill him. And then Arjuna killed. Otherwise, Karna was a very powerful personality. So why this is? From our perspective, it will look like, oh, this is not morality. He was not ready to fight, and Arjuna in that situation killed him. This is bad. From our perspective, it is bad. But if you see from the perspective of Krishna, because he is the Dharma, he is the God of Dharma, he knows what is right, what is wrong. Right? Because he was involved in so many, when Draupadi was being roped, he was the one. So all these are reactions of these bad karmas. All these are, so we don't have to see from one angle.
No, that means whatever is good for the truth or whatever is good for the trueness, if we have to break a promise, it doesn't affect.
Dharma. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. This is what. If even truth, which is against dharma, that truth is not
stand
truth.
for it.
The dharma is the point here.
Yes. That's what I wanted to ask. I wanted you to differentiate that promise and this promise.
Yes.
Any promise which comes in the way of dharma.
Yes.
It can
So
be.
even if you see later on, we will discuss. Time is up. Even Krishna, he is not partial. Even he killed his own family.
No, that's okay. But anything which comes between dharma.
Yes.
Should be.
So Krishna is always with dharma. Dharma means dharma rakshati rakshita. Dharma is always with one who follows dharma. Even Pitama Bhishma, he was against dharma, he was killed. So whoever is against dharma, he will be killed. This is the arrangement of Krishna. So who will follow dharma, he will be victorious. Thank you so much for this question. Yes, please. Okay, thank you so much for your participation, and kindly excuse for any words. See, the purpose of this session is just to understand the subject matter, and of course I request all of you, because we have so many conceptions and some backgrounds. So if we are regular in classes, because everything is very much connected, once we have the ground understanding, like in second chapter we are going to get much more, and then that will give a totally different vision to understand the subject matter. And ultimately it will be beneficial for all of us. We will come out of all sufferings, all illusion, darkness. This will enlighten us. So again, thank you so much. Time, patience, and interaction. Hare Krishna. So let's stand and make this offering to the Lord. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayini Yanyakashipu Dakshaha Shiratamkai Nakhalare Ito Nasingha Karko Nasingha Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasingha Bahir Nasingha Hridaye Nasingha Narasingha Madin Sharana Prapati Tava Kara Kamala Bhare Nakha Adbhuta Shingha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrika Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Jajagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tava Kara Kamala Bhare Nakha Adbhuta Shingha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrika Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Jajagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev 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 Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Nrsimha Bhagavad ki Jai Bhakti Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai All glories to Assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to Assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to Assembled devotees Hare Krishna Shri Guru Gaurang ki Jai Thank God Hari Hari Bol. So we pray Nrsimhadev, he is the God of protection. So every day we should chant the Nrsimharti. So Lord, protect us from all the evils and help us to progress on this spiritual path. Hare Krishna. So you can honor Prasadam, and in between, if you have any question, one-to-one also we can discuss. Hare Krishna. about your emotions.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I still.
So, you lost your son. When?
September is
So even after hearing Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna heard about that Duryodhana's death, I'll give you another thing. When he got to know that Abhimanyu died, he was crying like that. Even after hearing Bhagavad Gita, even after knowing that we are not this body, we are soul, he was crying because this is natural emotion. So emotion is good. Someone dear and dear one we lost. So that emotion is natural. But we don't have to get bewildered knowing this. At the same time, that's what I gave you the example of Arjuna. It's not easy. Emotion for us very natural. This is the reality. So gradually, this understanding will help It's very natural. It should always It will take time. With this understanding, of course, this is a reality, and we can help him. Now we can help him because this is a spiritual journey, and